And now we're going to talk about summarizing with statistics and using that information. This is something that I didn't even know was in active data for a while, and would have used it a lot more if I had known about it. And for the most part, as we continue on here, the summarize command is, if you could see my mouse, is right up top here. And the summarize command allows you to basically to kind of summarize and accumulate a variety of statistics based on that particular summarized field. Okay, so in the actual purchase order file, I'm going to move back to my invoices paid file. And what we're going to try to get to, let me just see if I'm pretty sure I had built this file. We're going to ultimately get to this summary file, and I'm showing it to you very small on purpose. We're going to have this like color-coded analysis done or graphing done of the data. And that's kind of ultimately where we're trying to get at, where we have all these wonderful statistics by, in this case, vendor number. But then we're going to graph that. So that's kind of our ultimate hope here. And let me just go back to my invoices paid file. So with this, what you can do is you can utilize the summarize pivot file function in order to summarize by vendor number and accumulate, let's say, the invoice amount. Now the key here, which I have clicked on here, is the include statistics command. And that allows you to then select a variety of fields, which I'm going to run them all, but I don't think you really need them all. And I will say, if you have a million record file, that this will take some time because active data has to go through all of this. I will be giving everyone the, for those that have paid today, I guess, the actual files that you can utilize yourself and basically what you see here is what you'll get and be able to use. And there are about 5,000 records in here, so it takes a little bit of time, but it's pretty quick, and I would hope that in summarizing on vendor number, accumulating that, we're going to then get all those statistics. Bear with us 1 second here. So now we have vendors. Let me just take a look at that, and I just wanted to check here. Just checking one more second. Yep. Okay. So bear with me. Okay. So in this summary that I have, I basically have the count, and if I want to look at, let's say, vendor number 1043148 with 299 items, I can click on that and it will drill down to that data, and we will use that a little bit later as well. But back to the summary, what I find most interesting is that you have so much info. You have the total that's going into that, the net value, the positive values, the negative values, the absolute values, the mean, the median, the mode, the standard deviation of the population, which is really, my understanding is that these are the ones you want to focus on. So standard deviation, and I guess I should bring up an internet search here, but for the most part, one standard deviation, if I got it right, is 60. Everything within negative and positive one standard deviation is about 65-66% of the population. Everything that's within two standard deviations is about 95, and then three standard deviation is like 99.7. I think I'm right there. But with that said, you can utilize the standard deviation in order to figure out items that might be above, let's say what that mean or average is for that particular data set. So if we really just wanted to focus in, and let's just say we're going to focus in on mean and standard deviation, what I can do first off is hide these columns. I could arrange it with active data, but I'm just going to, we may as well. I could have hid these columns and done a lot of hiding, but we may as well just right-click here and notice how you can bring in active data right into the actual section here, and it should be in the sheets function, but I guess in the columns function. We're going to arrange columns. And what you can do is very quickly say, well, if that's the total, I want to take the mean and I want to move it to right here. And then I'm going to go down to the standard deviation. Let's say the plus standard deviation, because I'm going to say that I really care about high valued numbers, and I'm going to move that to right here. And that was a lot quicker, and I hit the finished, and now I have my total. Just kind of highlight these. We have the total, we have the mean, and we have the mean plus 3 standard deviations. So what you're able to utilize this for is to kind of figure out what invoices exceed that mean plus 3 standard deviations. Now, one thing that you might want to do, and I just wanted to note this from before, from this conditional formatting, and what I like to do is take a look at these 3 fields, because you kind of have your average, your total, and your 3 standard deviations. You could highlight that. Go to conditional formatting, which is in Excel 2010 and I believe 7. I'm almost positive it looks the same for 7. And you go to color scales, and you could select red, white, green, or red, yellow, green. The yellow kind of makes too many yellows, so I like red, white, green. And that way, it's mostly white, but then there's some red and green. The red are the really large items. The green are the really small items. And if you scroll out, now I'm scrolled at this very sort of infinitely small kind of level here. You can see every vendor, and probably the colors may not be coming through, so let me make it a little bit bigger for you. But you can kind of see how some of them are really, oh, that one's more red than others. That one is really, sorry, I clicked on it. This one is more green than anything else, etc. And it gives you a way of visually and quickly looking at a data set and, just actually doing what I just did. I mean, you could click, let me just scroll back now here to something that you can read. You could go through this and say, well, that one's odd. Let me click on that. That created this drill down feature here of all of those vendors' invoices. Then I could say, that's odd. Let me click on that one. And it actually adds it to, I believe, the top of that drill down. So this was the 299 items. This was 12 items. Let me go back here. So that's the 12 items. And oh, that's a really weird one. Negative 409 is my invoice amount total. So we have a receivable with this particular vendor. I'll click on that as well, and that'll add it to the drill down as well. And you basically have kind of your audit sample now selected of vendors that look the weirdest, and you might want to select this one because it has a weird standard deviation. But real quickly, I mean, you could almost sit here, and I'm just going to do it just to kind of show you how quick you could do it. You could be picking a sample of vendors that really make up the majority of kind of large and small items, yet it really didn't take that long to do. Now that is one approach to doing what I'm saying of kind of I like that approach better. It's much more visual and something that utilizing active data basically to kind of do everything for you. So taking a look at this now, this could be the list of vendors that are the top kind of top ones to look at, and out of about 5,000 items, it looks like we have about 368 items that we're going to take a look at in our analysis. And again, we would then filter this one down further by taking a look at which ones are really making up the large and small items, and again, that is one approach to getting there. Another approach that you might want to take, and it's up to you, is going back to this invoices paid file, and I'm just gonna try to kind of head over. Let me just kind of insert it right here, and I'll insert 2 columns. What I can do at this point is to add 2 columns here, which is, let's say, the standard deviation plus 3, or actually I guess it was the mean, mean plus 3 standard deviation, and this one would be kind of the difference. And how am I going to get that figure and kind of place it here? I can use, actually, Active Data does have a merge sheet function, but I've gotten so used to VLOOKUP, I'm just going to kind of quickly show you it with the VLOOKUP command. And we can kind of head over here, and we're going to kind of VLOOKUP on these columns here. And the one that I want to select is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over. So I hit my F4 button to kind of fix that. Hit my comma again, 5, and then false as we did before. And now I have my mean plus 3 standard deviations. I can double click on this little black box on the right hand portion of the cell, and then that'll bring over that mean plus 3 standard deviations over to this spreadsheet. Then I can basically say, well, what is the invoice amount minus that item there? And do I have a negative difference? If it's a negative difference, I'm more intrigued by that. I could then filter on this, and or I could have, I guess, supposedly done that color charting that we just did before. And I would even just say greater than 0. So here we have invoice amounts that exceed the mean plus 3 standard deviations for that vendor by $91, by $5,000, by whatever. You could then sort this large to small, and now you have the top one, right? So here is the mean plus 3 standard deviations for that vendor, 7279172. Yet the difference here to what that mean plus 3 standard deviation is about 49,000. It's like half of that invoice size. So this one's well, a little bit less, and etc. But something to take a look at, and a way of using those summary statistics that we got here, which is really the cool part of it, is that Active Data calculates all of these kind of negatives and positives and etc., blank items, etc., and kind of brings that back for you for use not only in a spreadsheet that you could graph maybe or use color charts, but also to take that information and bring it back into this particular schedule and using it for its own purposes.